Oh shit. I'm sorry. No, my bad, I didn't see. Oh, I just ran right over somebody. There's a bounty somewhere around here, but I can't find it. There he is. There he goes, he jumped off. Why is he running, bro? What the fuck? Never ends. I didn't even want to kill him. Let's drag his body, fuck it. avoid the roads. I don't understand where everybody's at. I figured there'd be bounties over here. I don't see none. I'll run up here and see if there's anybody up here. See how fast that horse is. Let's see you catching me. That fucking horse quick. You about had me. You right there with me. Wait for my friend to get on, but I guess he ain't gonna get on. I don't know. He figured he'd join me. What?
Welcome. How do you do? Head's still rolling. I like to bring your damn neck.
I grabbed the other two. I got these two. I'll call the wagon in.
Oh dear God! You cut these ropes, you hear? Face alive!
I'm gonna come pick your two up and I'll get my two. Oh fuck, I about ran over. The fucker's still up. Yo, what's up?
Whoa, mister. Got a problem?
Try and get the wagon there, but I don't know. Fucking, I keep wrecking. Yep, I fucking wrecked the son of a bitch. I flipped it. Fucking knew it. Might as well skin the bear hide. Where's your horse at? Oh, you already got one on there. Shit. Oh fuck, that's about to kick me.
Enjoy your last moments alive.
I tricked you.
Throw that dog meat in the wagon. Good deal.
Guess I go strawberry. Oh, you Indian? Oh, I like your crossbow. That same one. You got diamond arrows? I know you do. Yep, there they are. You got the elephant rifle? I like that gun. tell you, I don't know what kind of horse you got. That thing is quick. It's about like this damn horse. See, look, you're right on my ass. And you got a pelt on that son of a bitch. I can't believe there ain't no bounties popping up. Hey, I'm gonna go to Santa Diaz. I'm gonna teleport there. I'm fast travel. Over there by the swamps. Fuck down, cat! Fucking pissed. Oh my God, excuse me. Hey, you want to join y'all's posse? I'm dispatching this one. Oh, you have to invite me. It won't let me join it. Hell yeah. understand why you can lasso a damn deer, but you can't lasso a fucking coyote or something. That's stupid. It's got a neck too. This ain't my horse. What the hell? Oh, we got some elk over here.
Supplies are looking healthy right now. Docks are looking good.
I like your crip guy. He looks like the Mexican. Mine looks like damn hillbilly. Like a bushman.
Come on, ladies. This sirloin will put a smile on your man's face. Here on tea.
Howdy.
Partner? How's everything?
That's the going rate for an ugly-as-hell corpse.
tell you something. The globalists really messed up. I know the biggest talk show host in the world. I actually know them all. I know Joe Rogan very well. I know Tucker Carlson very well. I know them all. And the ones you think I don't know, I do know. The ones on our side. And they really messed up in the last year, threatening people and threatening their lives. And that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. Because, see, these globalists are followers. They're cowards. They're ass kissers. And they want to work for Satan. They want to work for the New World Order. They want to bow down. There are a lot of people out there that stood on the sideline until they got threatened. And the globalists thought that when they punch somebody in the nose, they'd be like them and get in a catatonic position and piss all over themselves. But I knew who you were. I know all of you very well. I think you're just like me. And you know what? My gut is right. You are just like me. You don't want to live as a slave. You're not rolling over and bowing down. You're done playing games. So yeah, the new big top Yahoo story is, oh, Russian propaganda says they're going to kill Tucker Carlson. Well, don't think Tucker Carlson hadn't been threatened. And don't think I haven't been threatened. And don't think we haven't been followed around. And don't think we haven't been jacked with. And don't think that's why we're fighting harder than ever. Because if you want to bang heads with me, I can show you what it's like. So with the top of Drudge saying Tucker assassination fear, that's a message to Tucker. Because everybody's already talking about that. But, oh, the Russians said it. But it's really the media picking it up to tell Tucker, you shut your mouth or we're going to blow your airplane up. Well, good luck with that. Because if you strike down Tucker Carlson, he'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. But it's crazy with the New World Order. They threaten me and stuff, and they say the horrible things they can do. Through the subsidiaries, through their intermediaries, through their proxies. And I always sit back and say on air, but in person, gee, I didn't know you were bad people. You just smuggle kids all over the world. Why? Oh. You mean you could set me up with a grand jury and put me in prison? Oh, you could take everything I got? Oh, hold on a minute. I thought you were these bad, evil people I was fighting. I didn't know you were bad and evil. I didn't know you want to hurt me. Jeez. I better give up right now. Because they're like, hey, we're a bunch of cowards, and we're going to really hurt you bad. Oh, you're going to hurt me. Oh my gosh. I'm actually afraid to become like 90 years old and not be able to get up out of bed and all the rest of it. I don't want to die. I don't have a death wish, but I do want to die with a sword in my hand. And a sword in my hand means being on air against you. You could put a gun to my head, or my children for that matter. You're going to kill them anyways if we lose. And that's what they can't stand is our total commitment against them. There's a freedom in total commitment. There's a freedom that I wish those of you that never experienced it could taste. Total commitment. Total means complete. Total means absolute. Total means all the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's a prediction I've not made.
Who's a bear?
And I guess I kind of did a little bit at the start of the show today, but I said, we're in the season. We're in the time of assassination. So it goes without saying in a globalist coup, the top of the execution list is Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones. And because the system trying to push around other people didn't work, Joe Rogan Orwell's gotten real hardcore all of a sudden. He's gotten real wild. Because see, somebody like Joe wants to navigate and balance things and be successful and wants to fix things peacefully. But see, when you start threatening people like that, their brains shift over and they go, well, I can't deal with these people. They're not going to be reasonable with me. Skip the break. So I got to go to war with them. But that's why I try to start this show explaining to listeners, do you know what I'm doing? Like, I'm risking my life here because I believe in you. Not because I'm a hero, not because I'm this great guy. I have a real problem being a slave. I have a real problem bowing down. I have a real problem. If some superior political system came that did great things and was, I'd be like, well, I'll just join that. This is not superior. This is a pedophilic, greedy, selfish, demonic, horrible, stinking pile of crap. So it's not a sacrifice to be destroyed if that's what God wants in the service of defeating this. It is a honor. It is a pleasure. And I told the story 5 years ago, right before I got deplatformed. My dad's smart. Well, the smartest people I've ever known, maybe the smartest. He never gets in my business. He never tells me what to do since I was about 16. He shows up at the house for breakfast on some Saturday morning, Sunday morning, I can't remember. I told this story last week. He comes in, he sits down at the table, and I put some eggs and hash browns on his plate. Sit back and drink coffee. He looks at me and he says, well, I know you know what you're doing, but I can see you're passing a line. If you pass this line, it's going to be rough. And I said, Dad, they're going to get everybody anyways. We got to do it. He said, I know you'd say that. And I'm proud of you. And I'm really glad you're doing this. But I love you. And you need to get closer to God. And it's those moments in life that are timeless. When you hold your daddy's hand on Saturday morning and cry. And you join your ancestors in being honorable. And I can tell you, Tucker Carlson's real as it gets now. Fully awake, fully pissed. And so are so many other people. And so we can't look at people like Vivek Ramaswamy wanting to join us and say, oh, he's an infiltrator. You don't do the stuff he says and does. They're all coming after him now. No, he wants to join us. There's no debate about it. I'll be political and say, oh, well, he's probably good, but let's not trust him. He's on board, folks. He's not going to save us. God's going to save us. But the point is that this is the time when everybody's going to come over to the side of our ship, and we can't be here on a power trip at that point rejecting people that are trying to flee the enemy because we were awake before them. But they could kill me today. Not predicting they are. I'm just saying. I can feel the angel of death's wings flapping around me. But that's because you can all feel it. Nuclear war, global government, New World Order, open demonic pedophilia, surgical surgeries of hundreds of thousands of children, sterilizing them. I mean, we're in hell. But when you're in hell, you can look up through the smoke and see the mountaintop and God. And you can make the decision Tucker Carlson made, and the decision Joe Rogan has now made. Told me. But leave it at that. To turn the ship, to join the resistance, to join your ancestors, to be honorable, to be strong in the face of this deluge, in the face of this assault, in the face of this attack. It's the decision that matters. Not your body that'll pass away. Not your wealth that means nothing. But who you are at your core, what you stand for. That's your essence. That's your soul. And these are the times that try men's souls. This life is a trial. And I just want to make it across the finish line with my nose. Because I want to be with God. And I want my heavenly body to be accepted in the spirit group of my ancestors. I've already seen them. I've already been there. Already been there. I get to see my grandparents, folks. I get to literally go to the third heaven whenever God allows me to do it and just be there with all the beings of light, the angels. I'm there. I've already transcended the enemy, folks. It's so real. It's absolutely true. I cannot believe that I became within millimeters of joining Satan through pride when I was a teenager. But I was not recruited. I did not sign the enrollment. Where they're openly talking about hitting you with weapons to make you sick so you can't resist them with soft kill. And they talk specifically about protein prion replicating nanotech in 2017. And that's just one of the clips. Oh, it gets a lot worse. And again, Max Planck, 130 years ago, theoretically envisioned the equations for the atomic bomb. They had equations by the 30s for the hydrogen bomb. So they didn't make those in the 50s, or the big one as they called it, the super. They had equations in the 60s for creating strangelets and artificial black holes, but they didn't have the fission-fusion reactors like you saw China and Japan do in public the last few years. The United States in the 80s did it. Remember my dad one Saturday was very excited PBS was going to have it. He literally had popcorn out. So his buddies came over, and there was on PBS, they created an artificial sun inside this warehouse facility, the Pentagon did, and they thought, well, there's less than a 10% chance it'll explode and blow the U.S. off the map. There's maybe 0.5% that it'll create a black hole and destroy the Earth, but they still did it. Just like Operation Fishbowl. Look up Operation Fishbowl in the early 1960s. Hundreds of hydrogen bombs detonated in the upper atmosphere to see if they could ignite the planet's atmosphere and blow holes in the Van Allen radiation belt. So the reason I raise all that is the nanotech, the race-specific weapons, all the things they're creating, they go, well, because we can create it, we must create it, and if we create it, we must use it. It's like General Jack T. Ripper in Dr. Strangelove, based on Curtis LeMay, a composite of Curtis LeMay and L.O. Lemnitzer. And then in the 1980s, they had that great movie, Spies Like Us, that's kind of a ripoff of that, but a good ripoff, great comedy, where at the end, the U.S. government, as a rogue group is sending these spies, they all get captured or killed. So the decoy idiots actually get in and launch the ICBM at the U.S. so that the Pentagon can go ahead and have an excuse for nuclear war. And the head general saying, our studies show that an unused weapon is a useless weapon. These are real statements. That was back when Hollywood didn't want nuclear war. Now they love it. Sean Penn loves it. It's fun. So, guys, type in China creates artificial sun, and they launch it at the beach. This big sun just goes up, gets bigger and bigger, and then dissipates. Could have kept growing. That was on the news like a year ago. It was, it's just a big, giant artificial sun China just launched. Just YouTube it, guys. China launched artificial sun. Well, there's a chance it might just keep expanding and burn the whole planet up. Let's just go ahead and do it. Oh, there's a chance we fire hydrogen bombs in the atmosphere, can ignite it and kill everybody. Let's just do it. Oh, there's a chance that Hadron Superconducting Super Collider is going to create a black hole and kill everybody. Or a whole bunch of other little nasty things. Like a strangelove, it's another type of black hole. It's like a mass triggering implosion of matter. And that's just who I am. I'm sitting here going, just for no reason. I would never do this. Just like, I could go over and kill my neighbors and hang them up with that chain and eat them. When the last time I said that years ago and it went viral,
That's some scary stuff to say.
the media spun and said, "Oh, Jones
He's crazy.
really, absolutely wants to kill his neighbors." No, I said, you collapse civilization. That's the type of world that you bring us into. Yeah, fast forward to the actual sun they launched. Here it is. Oh, here, let's just, we're going to launch rockets. Here, let's create an artificial sun and just launch it in the atmosphere. So, they can create stuff trillions of times more dangerous than that. And they're doing it. At least the, quote, U.S. government did it in an underground bunker under a mountain a mile under stone in a warehouse with giant energy field compressors to try to hold the sun in control so that it wouldn't expand. And it was still very dangerous. The Chinese were like, the communists were like, here, let's just go to the beach and create one, just launch it and see what it does. And again, it gets enough gas, just like, a gasoline fire or something. You ever put too much lighter fluid on something and it blows up and burns your hair off? Well, just imagine the mindset of these gremlin people, these mad scientists everywhere that call themselves mad scientists. There it is. China's artificial sun breaks record, making latest milestone in quest for efficient thermonuclear fusion reactors. And I always love how the media is like, China cloned humans for the first time. China created fission fusion for the first time. China created the first. No, they didn't. The United States did it all 30, 40 years ahead of everyone else. And then the crazy people at Los Alamos Laboratory in 1949 gave the Russians the how to do it. I mean, look, if you're going to make something this deadly, how about you not hand it out to people? But their argument is, well, if they can blow us up and we can blow them up, then nobody will do it. Yeah, right. But then meanwhile, you're constantly testing it, admitting it will statistically at some point get out of control. This is beyond playing with fire. This is the definition of satanic lunacy. And I'm not against progress. In the future, if some big corporation or group or some religious group who are going to raise the money wants to, go off in a big orbiting space station that has gravity, and you want to fly off, to 20 light years away and do this, you go do it. But we should have our own government here on the earth to tell anybody you do any of this stuff here, we're going to blow your ass out of the air. You do anything like this in the solar system, and you know what the argument is? Well, then somebody else will launch the level 2 civilization, and they'll go out, 10 light years or 5 light years out, and they'll build the weapons and come back and conquer us. We're already conquered by our own insanity making all of this stuff. And that's what's so frustrating. I mean, weather modification's been around for 100 years. It's been declassified. They're chemtrailing, manipulating the weather at the adult table. But for kids, they go, kids, it doesn't exist. Just like all this nanotech and the stuff I'm going to cover next hour that they've released on us. And they explain why they're doing it. But they don't respect you because the general public goes, well, laser beams are movies. We don't have those. And they just have no idea. We're going to break. I've done 2 hours and haven't plugged. If I don't plug, we won't be here. I'm our biggest problem. The listeners are great. You want our products. You buy our products. You're great. You need them.
Right.
But I'll get on the Jags and not plug for the whole show, and then no funds come in, and then we're going to shut down. That's not why you get the products. That's part of it. They're great. Turmeric, ultimate turmeric, 95% humanoid, so good for your neurological system, your joints, your bones, your immune system, your whole body. The best stuff ever, back in stock, amazing product, Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And Super Female Vitality is the same as Super Male, but it's sold out, so it's discounted. Works the same as the male formula, it's a different label. That's about to sell out. We got all the great fluoride-free essential oil toothpaste, 3 different types. InfoWarsStore.com. We've got high-quality, 30 parts per million colloidal silver that everybody needs to have in their medicine cabinet. Silver bullet, take topical or internal, back in stock. InfoWarsStore.com. We have 3,000 milligram, strongest, best, made in Texas by a top company, lets us private label it under the name Rebel Zen, CBD oil there is, incredible for your whole body, incredible for your health, incredible for your neurological systems. It's there at Rebel Zen, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139.
Introducing Platinum Status. Save 10 cents per gallon on every fill and get next level rewards.
Come out and said what I told you years ago. The ADL is a multinational Mossad, CIA, MI6 group that has private intelligence officers in most of your police departments, even in small towns. They put in a lot of the judges, and their job is converting America into an absolute tyranny. They're heavily involved in the new UN treaty that ends free speech as we know it. I have a giant stack. I've been promising a deep dive on that, but it's really ripened the last few days. Elon Musk came out and said, it looks like we have no choice but to file a defamation lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League. They discovered internally that the ADL was basically running Twitter as a go-between for the FBI and CIA. Musk has promised to release those documents next week, but a lot of them have already come out in Congress. This is totally illegal. It also came out in mainstream news this weekend like it was no big deal, that the ADL has AI chatbot systems installed under agreements with many of the telecommunications companies, right down to some of the top online video game consoles, and is recording everything you say in your house and transcribing it. So that broke. Can't make that up. That is just the unbelievable magnitude of this. So while you're playing Call of Duty or World of Warcraft, it's listening to everything you're saying and creating a file on you.
Oh, God.
Now, we know a lot of other companies are doing this as well, but the ADL is the first to come out and admit they're doing it and say they're proud of it. So the Alexa in your house is listening to you, the Google assistants are, and it turns out the ADL basically programs it and controls it. So, well, that's why I say it's the most Nazi thing I've ever seen. The Nazis surveilled people, censored people, boycotted people, put the Jews and other people in ghettos, wouldn't let them have businesses. They debanked the Jews. And it's, I didn't do anything to the Jews or the ADL. And I don't deserve to be treated like I'm a Jew in Nazi Germany. And so when people finally take the blinders off and see this is just insane. But again, it's a globalist crime syndicate. It's a mafia that simply hides the entire New World takeover behind a civil rights organization. I mean, the crimes they're committing, folks, I gotta say, the chutzpah here is pretty spectacular. But again, it came out in the 70s and 80s. The ADL got caught all over the country posing as white supremacist groups, and it came out in their own documents from lawsuits and criminal charges against the ADL. And I've got some of those articles here to review later. That the main Nazi leaders were mainly Jewish. And of course, it's the same today, ladies and gentlemen. It's LARPing, it's live-action role-playing, and then they'll also get some mentally ill white prison gang folks to be on the payroll who are dumber than a box of rocks, and they'll run around Heiling Hitler everywhere. But it comes out in every case later that it's either a Southern Poverty Law Center, let's not just blame the ADL, or the FBI in direct control, or the CIA. So I thought we'd review some of that after Jack Posobiec leaves us in about an hour and a half from now. It's a very large stack. And guys, the ADL came out last week and announced how proud they were of all of this. So we're going to be going over some of those video clips and more. And I've also dredged up some newscasts and things from the 80s and 90s where the ADL got caught commanding the white supremacist organizations. And of course, Oklahoma City was run by the Southern Poverty Law Center. That came out in federal court. under sworn testimony by U.S. informants and federal agents. They were commanding the Elohim City white supremacist compound, where they then, of course, helped McVeigh cook up the diversionary truck bomb with Larry Nichols. So very dangerous people. Very dangerous. And so people need to be aware of that and understand that. But that's why they had German intelligence involved with them as well. It's been even the Guardian that most of the white supremacist groups in Germany, it turned out, are led by the German government. So this is how they divide and conquer us, and it's truly disgusting. And Elon Musk has come out, I've got his tweets right here, and he said, look, we got the documents. They were already running Twitter and all the other big tech companies before it, and they told us to do whatever they say politically and basically let them run the company still, or they would destroy us. And now they've got all the documents that they've lost more than half their sponsors at Twitter in the Western world. The Asians, Musk said, aren't intimidated. They don't even listen to it. If they advertise something and it sells there, they just advertise there. But with U.S. audiences and U.S. companies, European companies, they don't want the ADL coming after them. So the ADL calls up and says, hey, you're advertising with Elon Musk. He's a white supremacist or whatever. And the truth is that they were censoring hundreds of millions of people on Twitter. Same thing on Google and Facebook. Billions of posts about COVID. And the ADL has now been caught, along with the feds and the CIA and the congressional hearings, targeting people to be shadow bans. You don't know you've been banned, but you have been. If you think the Afghan withdrawal was bad, or if you don't want new lockdowns, or you don't open borders, or you criticize Joe Biden vacationing too much, the ADL has AI algorithms that flag you, and then no one can see you. And then they'll go further and just have you deleted. So you talk about racketeering. You talk about criminal activity. You talk about an intelligence operation. But you notice that even the congressional hearings in the last few months about all this, they show the Justice Department and CIA documents, and they show different leftist organizations interfacing, but very little about the ADL. And, you know, Tucker, who I love to death, came out and did an interview with Megyn Kelly, and he said, well, we can play the clip later, but he said, oh, it's such a wonderful organization, such a great mission, the ADL, and now it's run by a guy that basically just a Democratic Party operative and wants to silence their opposition. Sorry, the ADL's never been good, okay? The ADL is a protection racket, and it's been exposed by other Jewish groups that we'll play clips of later. They want anti-Semitism and persecution of Jews, because then they get more money. So they're creating a dialectic, and they're working for some very evil groups. So if you love Hitler, you love the ADL. I don't care if you are black. I don't care if you're a Muslim, white, Christian, Jewish. I love everybody as an individual. And that's why I really grieve that we have organizations like the ADL that knowingly are creating division, and they're knowingly breaking down society. And when I refreshed my research the last week, because the ADL thing came to the surface like a cold sore, people want me to cover it, so we are. We've been covering it forever. We've been persecuted by it forever. I've been persecuted by the ADL for at least 25 years, viciously. And I started reviewing what they put out in colleges and in public schools, even down to elementary schools. And the ADL is the main group that puts out the curriculum that is picked up everywhere, that white people are inherently bad, and that Christians are bad, and that, well, no, there's no whites getting killed in South Africa, and just all of it. It's just so nasty. A group operating on racial division, a group wanting tyranny, a group wanting censorship, a group spying on you. When I said it's the most Hitler-like thing I've ever seen in the West, I'm not saying they actually hail Hitler or like Hitler. I'm saying that they act the same and are just horrible, horrible organization. And it's refreshing to see people stand up to it and say, you know, we're sick of being called things we're not. I mean, Hitler was a loser. Both my grandfathers dropped bombs on Germany. And I'm sad for the Germans that got killed. It was terrible for everybody. But, I mean, I don't deserve to sit here as an American and have the ADL swing 80-year-old hatred of the Nazis from World War II that happened 80 years ago onto us, and that's my identity? And then you can't shake a stick at the people around the ADL who aren't actually servants of Hitler. Soros, of course, but there's a bunch of other, and that's the thing that real Jewish organizations have exposed. We need to, I covered this decades ago, we need to bring it back up in the history of it. Did you know there were rich, powerful Jews like Madeleine Albright's father? There was even a national news about this a decade ago. She was on 60 Minutes, and people saw all this famous art that was from famous Jews killed in the death camps that her father stole from them. Because there was a whole enterprise of rich Jews, Soros down at the bottom. He was a bloodhound that would go find Jews, up to the top, like Madeleine Albright's father. So, yeah, I mean, it's just like you've got stolen art from murdered Jews on your wall, but it's okay because you're Jewish. No, it's not. Or your Madeleine Albright says, yeah, we killed 500,000 Iraqi kids. I tripled the sanctions. I'd do it again. It's like, oh, you're a Jewish woman, so you're allowed to brag about killing 500,000 kids. I don't care if you're Jewish, German, Chinese, man. You do crap like that, you're evil. So the arrogance is disgusting. And the truth is the ADL was not founded out of Nazi collaborators. It was founded in a disputed case of a girl that was killed in a factory, and they said by the Jewish owner, and then he got lynched, and whatever the truth of that case was, that's how it got founded. And then after World War II, all these rich Jews that had made a deal with Hitler to send the Jews to Palestine that never got fully implemented, I mean, that was all agreed on. And there were all these powerful Jews there robbing the Jews of their money to try to get out of Germany and Europe. And the ADL is a representation of those people. They prey on Jews. By
Dang, you still sick?
Yeah. It might just be the allergies from hell, I don't know. Some stuff on Amazon is crazy expensive compared to what it is in the store. But you get good deals on some stuff, and the other stuff's crazy. I looked at how much one of my favorite candy bars is. They charge $13 for a candy bar on Amazon. It's nuts.
Oh, God. Can you turn my speaker back on? For some reason it cut off.
Yeah. How'd you turn it on?
You gotta push the top button on the side. It's up top. Now hold it in.
Blue Roof and the FEMA self-help.
What the fuck is wrong with this?
where they're openly talking about hitting you with weapons to make you. And that said, what do the globalists teach us? Oh, we're just blobs, we're just cells, we don't have any rights, we don't have free will, we're just programmable. And there is no God except the God of the state and the AI that they're building that we need to serve, we need to bow down to. And if we don't value the lives of unborn children or trafficked children or old people being murdered with COVID, with ventilators, and families not allowed to see them, we're not safe either. And the big think tanks and the big pharma companies, in countless videos we've aired, said at the build-up to 3.5 years ago with the COVID release, that we're just getting rid of the old system and we're mad scientists. And this Pentagon group, highest level DARPA, calls itself the Mad Scientist Group. And they get up and talk about what's currently happening that's declassified, and it makes Blade Runner sound like horse and buggy. And that's because it is. And that's why the politicians act like we don't exist and we don't matter, because they're so arrogant that we don't understand the system. So when I talk about the ADL, they're just one big intelligence agency node or tentacle of this global combine. And if you want to outlaw your opposition, if you want to demonize your opposition, what do Americans not like? What are we proud of? We beat the Nazis 80 years ago. And that's all the ADL is an organization saw a meme, and I'm not saying do this, but I meant to show it on Sunday's show, and I didn't. Maybe you guys can dig through the stuff I sent you, but I send these poor people like hundreds of things a day to print and get. And they almost get me everything, but sometimes they forget. But they printed it, and I didn't cover it Sunday. And it was a woman with a cup of tea, or a cup of coffee. She's got a little cup, and she says, they're doing it again because you didn't hang them last time. And, I looked at that for a long time Sunday when I said it, and I was just like, I don't want to hang these people because they'll turn that into a civil war, and public's not awake yet to fully do that. We want Nuremberg trials. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm not a violent person, I'm not a vindictive person, but we do need to hang a bunch of these people that created a weapon, gained a function, released it, blocked therapeutics, did all this. Yeah, they need to die, okay? But we need to do it by taking the system back because we don't turn them into victims. Right now, they're losing politically, they're losing culturally. And that's some of the clips I've got from the Pentagon where they're just up there calmly. Go ahead and go to the break. I'm not going to skip this break. I need to take a few minutes off to decide whether I'm even going to do this. Because, again, I'm not building this up, though I said I was. I mean, I need to build things up. That's not the reason I'm not covering it right now. This stuff is so horrible and so insane. And each clip of what they're admitting and each document is so bombshell. It'd be like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, they show up to find the Ark of the Covenant, and they find like 50 of them. You see what I mean? It's like almost weird to be on air talking about this. Like, this stuff's so crazy. They've incrementally got us in this position. It's just hard to even believe this is real. I mean, it's so nuts that they're bringing back all the controls while saying they're not doing it. And they got the Pentagon running around creating all these horrible bioweapons and bragging and saying, well, we may use it against the American people so they make them so sick they can't stand up to us. And that's the attitude of the Ivy League scum that have hijacked this country. Like, well, they're fighting us and they're not doing well. We'll just create a vaccine regimen with a spike protein crystal, and then we'll just send poison shots to all the red areas. Sure, it'll kill some Democrats in the area, but it'll kill them. Yeah, you'll never know what we did. It's so cool, man. They just murdered 20 million people, and it's all funny to them, and it's just like, what the hell? Like, and you're sitting here watching them murder everybody, and you're supposed to sit on air and talk about it. And then in all their lawfare and lawsuits, they go, why don't you care? Why aren't you upset? With the, and it's like, oh, they're going to kill all you, too. What the hell? I mean, it's like literally watching someone cry over spilt milk while your house is burning down. It's like you run out of your house and you trip over a 6-pack of Coca-Cola and one can bust while your house is burning with your kids in it. And the fire department gets there and you're like, got a Coca-Cola can. You're like, bro, I lost a Coca-Cola. And you're crying, and the fire department goes, your kids all just died in the fire. You're like, I don't care. I lost a Coca-Cola. It's kind of like that. It's just like, what? And then you're kind of like, well, maybe we should just kill everybody. Starting with the people that are doing it all. I'm not saying do that, but I am kind of like saying, well, should God just go ahead and blow it up before we let him capture and torture all the kids? I'm not saying do that. Last time I said that Jones wants God to blow the earth up. It's a intellectual discussion. No, God shouldn't blow it all, but I don't want to blow it all. We should change it, and we should stop it, and we should do something about it. So, millions are tuned in right now, and they're saying, what is the big news? Do you really even want to know? Because I just cover it, no one's going to care. But if I sit here for 3 or 4 days and build it up, I can get more clips and do more research and be more focused and do a better job. And then it's a big national story and a big world story, and then we hurt them. And what I'm saying there is the moral of the story is this. We have to take ourselves more serious. We have been right. You have been right. Backing this broadcast. You've been correct. We've been the folks that were truthful. We're running out of conspiracy theories. They all came true. And so I wouldn't have a swagger. I wouldn't be arrogant or full of bravado or chutzpah or hubris. And hubris and chutzpah are the same thing. But I would be aggressive. And I would be knowing you're confident you're in the right. And I think that's the attitude you got to have with all these globalists and all their minions and people is this time when they're wearing the mask, this time when they're locking the schools down, this time don't put up with their crap. This time when they're blocking therapeutics, because here's the big secret. These injections create the mutations of prions. These are not regular viruses. They turn the people that take the shots into giant shedding engines. They're bombs. And they admit that in the Pentagon report I've got right here. From 5 years ago. They're going to inject you with a prion creation system and make everybody sick, and no one's going to know. They're going to say it's a virus, and that's going to make the whole country sick, so you're so sick you can't resist, and then the government that hit you with the weapon is going to pose as the savior, and then I have the Pentagon bragging about it.
That's what he says. Tell him.
And why not? They're mad scientists. They talk to behavioral psychologists. They war game it with the Rockefellers and Bill Gates, and they go, let's hit these bastards. They don't want to turn their guns in. They don't want to cut their sons' dicks off. They don't want to worship world government. They don't want to have drag queen pedo time. Hit them with a bioweapon. And we'll have our leftist minions be the bombs that take the shots and then slough all this off on us, and it's all cute and funny to them. Now, what I just said is not rhetoric. What I said is what they're doing. How am I supposed to sit here and act normal on air and talk about this like I'm talking about the price of tea in China?
You're crazy. He's getting mad.
You know what I'm kind of doing before I cover this? I'm putting like 5,000 exclamation points up behind it. I'm taking a big old yellow highlighter and I'm saying, this is important. This is big. Top neuroethicist professor, the head of the program at Georgetown University, raises alarm on how the release of nanoparticles can cause stroke epidemics. But he doesn't really do that.
Hey, listen.
You can cause him... You can say he's raising the alarm. That's like calling the fire department after you douse your house with gasoline and reporting. You know what? I'm not somebody that doesn't deliver. So I won't give it justice. And I'm going to spend a lot of the week on it, do special reports. I'm going to do it all, but just air a promo, air something, and I'm going to go splash some water on my face. And then I'm going to come back and I'll do like 15 minutes the next hour and hit some of this. But I don't know if people are going to know what they're listening to. And I don't mean that because you're a bad person or you're not smart. I've been immersed in this for 35 years. immersed. I've been on there 29. Hell, I've been immersed in longer than that. And when you know what they're talking about because you know the lingo, it's horrific. And they're little scientists laughing and giggling on a power trip because they're playing with hand grenades. They're like monkeys playing with hand grenades. And that's really all I can describe it as. And there's evil, powerful groups that will give them unlimited funding to do all this, and so they're doing it. And we sit here while they talk about these Pentagon videos, and of course we're gene editing viruses to make them more powerful. Totally illegal, death penalty, just sitting there doing it, and then they lie in front of Congress while they have all these conferences and admit it, and we sit there and watch them. Man, I got family, dude. I don't like you doing that. And they don't care their own families are going to get destroyed by this because there's the power trip like a moth to flame. That's really what they are. They're moths to flame. They're not conscious. You can't blame them. But you've got a responsibility to stop them. They're clowns. From the Rothschilds all the way down to the bottom, from King Charles to, you name it, they're idiots. Who believes you can break all these intergalactic rules, you can break all these common sense things of chivalry, and that you're going to be protected? Well, they believe they're insulated. They believe they're all powerful. They believe they're God. They believe their manifest destiny is to do all this to us. And again, anybody with half a brain can analyze the trajectory of this and know it's certain destruction for everybody, including them. I mean, they're not going to kill all 8 billion of us. They're not going to. And when they've done all this, they'll be hunted down no matter what. I don't even care to hunt them down. They're garbage to me. God's going to destroy them. God will destroy their souls. God will contend with their essence, their energy. Their bodies mean nothing to me. I don't want to fight them. I don't want to destroy them. But I have to fight them. I have to destroy them because they're not stopping attacking our people. And they can kill our bodies, folks, but they can manipulate and get our children convinced to be led by them to the dark side. And that is what we cannot allow them to do, is corrupt the youth. And they've done it. And we've sat there, and the deception and the evil being poured out, and the satanic energy is incredibly intense. Believe me, I know. I'm tempted by it. But in the temptation I get, the devil cannot help it but contend and try to force the will. And staring into those eyes, we are able to get the enemy's operation. By staring into the abyss. Yes, you can become the abyss, but you can also stare into the abyss, and then you get the knowledge of the enemy by contending with it. And only through the Holy Spirit do I have the power to do that, and it's not me. But yes, I am able to tune in the frequency of the Luciferian force, and it is a prideful, out of control, false messianic transmission. And it is alluring when you're young and don't have wisdom, but later becomes disgusting. I hate tuning over to the Satan channel. But I'm tuned into it right now, and that's why I can hardly talk, because I'm just like, ugh, oh my God. It is just horrible. And forgive them, Father, they do not know what they do. They know not what they do. All right, so there's endless clips from the Pentagon and DARPA and MIT and their head groups admitting all this. Now they're going to create new viruses and they'd be released and they'd take control, and we've played a lot of that before. And so the more I think about these stories, I go, well, I'm going to play that clip, I want to play this clip, and just we can make a 10-hour documentary about this. But we ran across a bunch of high-level DARPA meetings I did yesterday, just haphazardly, where in 2017, 18, 19, they were talking about, hey, we're already microchipping the troops. We already can give them supervision to see full spectrum stuff. And we got to make them disabled after that because it brain damages them. And we've already got these super soldier programs, which we already know about, but they're admitting all this at the Pentagon. And I'd never even seen all this stuff. And that's just part of it. I mean, it's crazy. And I think that's it. It's like trying to watch 5 hours of this. It would take you a year to write a book about it. I mean, it's mind-blowing. And they keep saying, and this is just what's declassified. And remember, my dad, like in 1983, because he was a pioneer in implants, dental surgery, the Pentagon tried to hire him and a bunch of the top implant doctors to go work in Maryland at some underground base with some secret program in cybernetics. And my dad, they never gave him the full thing. My mom didn't want to go. We didn't go there. It was a lot of money. He didn't do it. I just heard about it at the dinner table. So imagine how big this project is. And that's my own personal experience. But you don't need to hear it from Alex Jones. Here's the Pentagon admitting all of this. I mean, just listen to these clips. I've got dozens of these we just grabbed today. You know what? Let's play clip 9 first, where they introduce it at DARPA and the Army.
You want to connect. Maybe the Army's not hearing all the time. And that's how we came across Dr. Giardina.
And you saw it on the screen there, the Mad Scientist Conference. So here's the head neurologist, neuroethics professor at Georgetown University, Giordano, talking about weapons of mass disruption and how governments could release, he goes on, prion crystals and other things to make everybody sick. Then you think it's a reoccurring virus, but really you've been soft killed. And they even call it soft weapons. Well, here it is.
You can develop a variety of different drugs that can be used in war fighting scenarios. Now, what I want to make sure you understand is that these drugs can not only enhance the warfighter with regard to maximizing their particular capability, but can also be used to maximize war fighting capability by then affecting others. So clearly I can affect others by either what I'm doing, making me better, or what I do to them, making them, quote, less better, or at very, very least, not wanting to fight. In the main, these are indeed weapons of mass disruption, not destruction. And the reason that I mention this to you is that the absence of mass destruction has in some cases veiled them for closer scrutiny, but the disruptive effect can be huge. So, for example, one of the things that we can do is we can use a variety of these new forms of drugs that target specific functions of the nervous system, such as things like affiliation, amelioration, attitudes, behaviors, and cognitions, and we can target key individuals. Earlier this morning, we had General who spoke to all of us.
We'll be right back.
He gave us a very rousing message and talked to us.
So here's one of the directors of major Air Force Pentagon operations, the head of the Georgetown University mind control operation. And then there's countless videos of these. I watched 5 hours of this since yesterday. This is DARPA level, top level directors, okay? At the Pentagon. This is the Army hosting this. And here he's talking about in 2017, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, nanomatter in the brain that causes strokes. That is a nanoparticle. Well, what did they admit COVID is? It's just a nanoparticle. You can get it from the COVID, but much worse from the shot. They just pollute everything with it, and then it degrades society and breaks you down. They're bombing us with it. Go ahead and roll the tape.
Moreover, we heard earlier about the idea of nanoparticulate matter that can be utilized in a weaponizable way. And here, too, we're looking very, very strongly at what nanoparticulate matter can do to the nervous system. Some ongoing studies with our colleagues in the medical branches of NATO have, in fact, shown that the use of nanoparticulate matter in a scatter arrangement can be used to incur what looks to be broad-scale epidemiological stroke epidemics. So what we're able to do here is infiltrate the brain space with nanoparticulate matter that aggregates in situ, on site in the brain, and does one of two things. Either penetrates from the vascular space, gets in through the bloodstream, gets in through the nose, through the mucosa, or infiltrates the vascular space and clogs it. What is the result? What's called a nanoparticulate stroke, or a hemorrhagic diathesis, fancy word, for it's a predisposition to individuals having brain bleeds. Demonstrated? Oh, absolutely. We're able to show animal models of same. And the Italian group has done a fair amount of work demonstrating that nanoparticulate matter can be highly disruptive, not only of brain vascularity, but brain function. You may not necessarily incur a stroke, but you're going to begin to disrupt the network properties of the brain, and as a result, engage something more of a long wars effect through the use of these types of matters, where you now begin to influence the population in increasingly concentric circles of expansion.
And they go on to say, if a country's not doing what you want, you just release this and make them all sick. So I've got all the clips. You know what? I may just do 4 hours tomorrow and just play one of his 1 hour events and just analyze each piece of it as we go. Because that's how evil this is. I mean, it's got to be looked at, every aspect of it. And believe me, they're going to like us looking at it. Believe me, the alarms are going off. Right now, they're not happy. They think we're animals. They're at the big person table. We're at the little kid table like Thanksgiving. We're not supposed to be hearing all this. You're not supposed to be reading the white papers. You're not supposed to know about it. But notice what else he said there. It looks like it's a biological virus, but really, we've sprayed people with a prion.
There's a hole up there.
That may not kill you right away with a stroke, but is going to cause Alzheimer's-like effects. That's a long war, long COVID. Remember? Long COVID. Yeah. And remember, I was sitting there when we went to, like, challenge the election in Arizona. It was in late November 2020, and I landed in Phoenix, and I get out, and I go protest at night, and I go outside to shoot a report outside the hotel, and a bus drives by saying, young people now have strokes. And we got video of that. And then another bus drives by like 3 months later and says, heart attacks are now normal in young people. And then another bus drives by, nanotech soon will protect you from new diseases. So before the shot even came out, just like as in the December or October 2020 FDA report, they said, oh, it's going to cause myocarditis, heart attacks, blood clots, strokes. They already had the buses out to subconsciously get ready. Hey, kids have heart attacks now. Kids have strokes. It's normal. You didn't know everybody has heart problems. Like, people never used to have cancer. It was super rare. Now it's everybody's got it. So the buses are driving around like I'm in a Twilight Zone episode. I mean, they live like heart attacks and strokes are quite normal in children. But we've got nanotech to save you. And I said, get the videos. I made them sit out there for like an hour. I'm sitting there drinking coffee and like, oh, there goes the bus again. Remember, we got the video. And I'm like, look, see, they're telling you. And then there was ads in newspapers. Oh, it's normal to have strokes. It's normal to have heart attacks. Oh, it's everywhere now. So they hit you with the weapon, and then they sit back and tell you, oh, it's normal. Everybody has heart attacks now. It's a conspiracy theory that people used to live to 70 or 80 or 90. No, you live to 20 now. Oh, yeah, it is true the sperm count's 70%. It is true most people are infertile. It's just normal. Enjoy the atrazine. So they know we're nice people, and they know something like this. I mean, just to even think about it, it's just like, what? But it's real. I have 5 hours of this, and I'm telling you, it's all just as horrible. I played like 2 minutes of it. Are you not blown away? Would you like to hear more? This is just one of these people. And what did Peter Daszak specifically go to the Pentagon in 2017 at the same time this guy's giving conferences to the Pentagon, at the Army for DARPA, at the Mad Scientist Conference? What do they say? They say the public will never know what hit them. And it talks about how they're going to mind control us. Because they're weapons of mass disruption. Defunding the police, opening the borders, human smuggling, fentanyl, devaluing the dollar, inflation, all weapons of mass disruption. Because you were bad, folks. You didn't want drag queen pedophile time. You didn't want to devalue the dollar. You didn't want war with Russia. Well, then you've got to be hit, as he said. He goes on the full conference to say, You can hit armies, you can hit foreign countries, you can even target individuals with race-specific weapons. But the best thing is just to hit a whole population. And then out of the crisis, we'll be able to study what happens to these people and get new advances for ourselves. And he says, for military interests. He doesn't talk about American interest or his children's interest or your interest. He talks about the military's interests. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's play clip 4 where he talks about electromagnetic. You know, he gets into, we have microwaves. We're already mind controlling people with that. They talk about weaponized insects. And he says, this is not theoretical. This is what's declassified. This isn't what's you got currently going on operational. You've got classified, and you've got theoretical. He's like, oh no, everything I'm telling you here, everything he says you can look up, is operational. Go ahead and play clip 4.
The idea of neurosensory devices and a whole host of trans and intracranial pulse stimulators. And of course, these can be used for a variety of things with key individuals. Once again, particularly when it comes to trans and intracranial devices, I'm not looking for this to be weapons of mass use. I'm looking to target key individuals who may then be influential to relative aspects of their representative groups. I can affect individuals' brain functions in a variety of different ways, both positively and negatively, by engaging or disengaging nodes and networks of the brain that therefore affect their cognitions, emotions, and ultimately their behaviors. Moreover, by understanding the way the brain works as nodes and networks and not as key sites that are doing any particular thing, I can also utilize various forms of electromagnetic radiation and energy to be able to disrupt brain function. The brain is an electromagnetic organ, and like any other electromagnetic substance, the integrity of those networks is reliant upon the electromagnetic pulses that flow in between them. Utilizing electromagnetic sensory and disruptive devices in this way, with ever greater fidelity and with ever greater granularity, can be used as not only an organ against individuals, but against groups. And in fact, this is some of the work that we've seen that has been conducted previously in what was the Soviet Union, now Russia, and also China is looking very, very deeply into what electromagnetic pulse generation can do to the brain with regard to treating diseases and also incurring certain disease states in individuals who may then be susceptible, who may be exposed to such pulses.
Yeah, so they can basically just give you cancer or maybe think you have asthma or anything. Look, we only scratched the surface of this. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, we're going to lay it all out. So everybody, tune in. This is really important.
There's no way I'd ever switch.
Listing all this tyranny as run by a Jewish organization, and this they're not doing a full branding and saying white supremacism is this epic threat, number one cause of crime, number one crime in America, when anybody knows that's